personally Lamoreaux. Early on in my childhood, I found myself living in a life of fear. And in my teenage years, I developed an obsession for running. Whenever I was experiencing any problems in my life, I'd go for a run. But unfortunately, those runs didn't solve my problems, and I didn't realize the pattern at the time. However, any problems life presented me, I ran away from them. You could say I was running away from my fears. I ran from place to place, to job, and yet I kept running into the same problems I was trying to avoid in the first place. And it wasn't until one small act of courage at a particular job where I could have run away, but I chose to stay. I needed to have a difficult conversation with a leader who, unfortunately, led with fear. Confrontation has always shaken me to the bone, but that one small act of courage has ignited a flame in me, and that I'm discovering that I have the power to advocate for myself, to have those difficult conversations, to be able to tap into empathy with the difficult people that life presents me. Instead of quitting my job immediately, I was patient, and I worked through the problems. But yes, the day did eventually arrive when it was time for me to leave that fear-led environment. And when I did, I drove up to the mountains to one of my favorite trails. And instead of running with fear, I ran with this newfound courage. And within courage, I found curiosity. And I followed my heart to the art in Park City. With my sweaty clothes and messy hair, I didn't care. I walked through the art galleries, inspired by everything around me. But one work of art stood out from the rest. It was a simple postcard with these white horses charging in France. And I gravitated towards it. I picked it up, and as I flipped it over, the words, "Take the lead," glared at me, and it touched my soul. It was that day that a seed was planted in me. I would soon learn to lead a life of love, courage, and empathy. But the first step to that was facing my fears. So I started tackling them left and right. First off, one of my first fears is, living on my own as a young woman terrified me. I feared I couldn't defend myself if needed. So I walked into a Krav Maga gym, and I quickly found myself at home. I met some beautiful souls there who pushed me to limits I never thought I could reach. It got to the point where I was sparring, and that was jarring. But I learned to take the hits and to keep moving. In the end, Krav taught me to lean into fear and to face it fearlessly. And now I'm here facing yet another fear. And although this is daunting, I'm discovering that everything I've ever dreamed of is on the other side of fear. And so I'll leave you with this. Imagine how beautiful our world could be if we were not slaves to fear. If we could muster up the courage to have empathy for those who led with fear, realizing that they themselves may be battling inner fears. If we truly desire a world with less fear, then we must lead by example. It's time to conquer our own fears, to have empathy for others, and to be the bigger person. We have the power to create a fearless world. We just have to take the lead. Thank you.